CTA stations, the federal government is calling for a more aggressive safety plan.
The DOJ begins releasing thousands of Epstein files.
And a winter chill, a frigid, cold snap is moving in. Good afternoon, I'm Terrence Lee.
And I'm Paris Schutz. Tia is out on assignment.
Let's get right to that breaking news. Chicago has a new budget.
Yeah, that's right, but not everybody is happy about it right now. City Council approved the so-called alternative revenue ordinance by a 29-19 vote. Closes a nearly $1.2 billion gap by legalizing video gambling terminals in bars and restaurants, selling off debt to collectors, and putting together a host of new revenue items like a cloud computing tax. The passage comes after an 11th-hour attempt by Mayor Brandon Johnson to reintroduce that corporate head tax that would only apply to Chicago's largest companies. But that was immediately shot down. Mayor Johnson, after the meeting today, did not say whether or not he would sign this budget.
This budget is based on speculations that, I have serious concerns about, and a number of members of City Council have those concerns as well. And furthermore, there's an opportunity to actually, move forward collectively with this compromised approach without, again, going after working people and poor people.
And the reaction is pouring in from all corners of the city right now. The Illinois Manufacturers Association applauding Alders for standing up against that head tax. But it calls the final plan, quote, far from perfect. And the Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce says that it's an improvement from the mayor's proposal, but still places a disproportionate share of new taxes on business.
Both budgets are hugely difficult for Chicago's businesses. Both budgets have business having more skin in the game by a margin of 4-1. But these budgets represent choices, and while the alternative looks to the future difficult as it is, the other chooses to build its house on sand.
And again, it passed with 29 votes. That's 5 votes short of a veto-proof majority, meaning if the mayor does indeed turn this down, it will have to go back to council for more debate. And there will be another council meeting, we're told, tomorrow to consider some more budget items. So perhaps it's not over quite yet. And we are hours into Chicago's new security plan for the CTA, one that was demanded by the Federal Transit Administration.
Yeah, it's meant to keep you safer with dozens more police officers, K-9 units at train and bus stops as well.
And Chicago's Brett Begansky is live in Wicker Park. Brett, this morning, another scary incident.
It sure was. We confirmed with Chicago police that a man earlier this morning set himself and some of his belongings on fire while he was on a moving CTA train. This was here at the Damon and Milwaukee stop here in Wicker Park. So this happened just after 6 o'clock this morning. So what you're seeing right now is cell phone video from the Blue Line here. This is just after 9 o'clock in the morning. So I happen to be on the Blue Line at this time. I took the cell phone video that you're seeing here. So it appears to show a burn mark on the platform, a paper bag, and a Chicago firefighter and CTA worker there at the Damon Wicker Park stop. So this fire resulted in some delays this morning on the Blue Line. The CTA and Chicago police said they are adding more officers and buses and trains, with the average going from 77 a day to 120. So this is all happening just hours into that incident earlier this morning. And K-9 guards are go up from 172 to 188. So hours ago, we heard from Federal Transit Administrator Mark Molinaro, who said this plan is not good enough and that the administration is once again threatening to withhold $50 million if the CTA doesn't submit a more aggressive plan within 90 days. And we have heard all day from some CTA riders who talked about their safety and this latest threat from the Trump administration.
I feel a little bit more safe, and now there are more dogs. It's just an extra layer of protection.
I'm personally very skeptical of when the federal administration steps in on our cities, the way we run things around here. I don't know the last time Trump's taken the CTA.
I feel most of the time I do feel safe. There are some times where I travel and it does get a little bit sketchy. But lately I've noticed more security around and I definitely feel a lot safer.
So within the last half hour, we heard from Molinaro, who just spoke about Chicago and this new security plan not being good enough. So tonight at 5 o'clock, you're going to hear what Mark Molinaro had to say. Meanwhile, we reached out to the CTA to find out their response to this latest threat from the Trump administration. They said they got the message, and they said they are going to respond within that 90-day window with a new plan of action. So once again, Molinaro said this plan is not good enough. Meanwhile, the 52-year-old man who Chicago police said lit himself on fire here on a moving train. We are told that he went to Stroger Hospital. He is expected to be okay, but ATF agents ended up arresting him. He is now in custody. We're alive in Wicker Park tonight. Brett Bagansky, Fox Chicago.
Okay, Brett, a lot of back and forth there between the CTA and the federal government. And we have some breaking news right now. The man charged with setting a woman on fire on the Blue Line, pleading not guilty in his arraignment today. Lawrence Reed faces a terrorism charge in the case, and we've reported on his lengthy rap sheet, 72 arrests. He's also facing new arson charges for allegedly trying to set City Hall on fire 3 days before the CTA attack. And he's due back in court next month for a status hearing.
More breaking news this afternoon. The Justice Department is starting to release files tied to Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender. Is this happening because lawmakers passed a law last month that forced the DOJ to make everything from the case public? This includes photos, call logs, but some are heavily blacked out. Officials say there are hundreds of thousands of documents, and it'll take weeks to get all of them out.
And a Reddit post helped to end a frantic search for the suspect in last weekend's mass shooting at Brown University.
Yeah, the suspect was also a person of interest in the killing of an MIT professor. Caroline Shively has the newest developments.
The man police say shot and killed 2 Brown University students and an MIT professor is now dead. But the investigation into the murders and motive continues.
It just seemed that this was an anomaly, an exception to your typical active shooter going into a location to do the most harm in the shortest period of time.
Authorities say the Portuguese national shot 40 rounds into a classroom of strangers at Brown on Saturday, then 2 days later traveled 50 miles away to shoot the Massachusetts Institute of Technology professor, his former classmate.
He attended the same academic program as the MIT professor, Nuno Loureiro, in Portugal between 1995 and 2000.
He then drove a rental vehicle to his storage unit in New Hampshire and fatally shot himself. Police found his body Thursday night. That ended a more than 5-day manhunt across multiple states. But police say it was a homeless man at the original shooting location in Rhode Island who cracked the case wide open.
He felt something was off. He followed this guy. He scared the guy. The guy ran. But then he came forward, as we know now, and he's the one who allowed the police to button the whole thing up.
Police are still determining a motive. He attended Brown for a few months 25 years ago, coming to the U.S. on a student visa.
Then he applied for and received lawful permanent resident status in September of 2017.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says in the wake of the shootings, that green card lottery program has been paused. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox Chicago.
Our thanks to Caroline. The diversity visa program makes up to 50,000 green cards available each year to people from countries underrepresented in the U.S. Immigration experts say they expect the White House to be met with legal challenges in pausing this program.
The Chicago Bears are now openly considering Northwest Indiana, as we've reported, and Cook County's board president says she did not see that coming. Just days ago, team leaders met with state and local officials about a possible Chicago stadium in Bronzeville. Tony Preckwinkle says Indiana never came up, and the Bears agreed to take a closer look at that site. And the team sent the letter saying Illinois is not offering the support they need and expanded the search, including Indiana. The Bears say a new stadium will not rank as a state priority next year. Preckwinkle says she supports infrastructure investments, but questions putting hundreds of millions of public dollars into a stadium.
That's a fascinating story because apparently they were touring the Michael Reese Hospital site that might be back on the table here. Now, fans have been buzzing about this week about the potential, but the focus is now returning to the field.
Yeah, it's because tomorrow the Bears, as you know, are hosting the Packers at Soldier Field. You can watch the game right here on Fox Chicago.
Cassie Carlson is here in studio with a look at what's at stake. A lot, Cassie.
Paris, I feel like I could ask you this question because you know what's at stake, right?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
I've watched a few Bears-Packers games. games in my life.
He's trying to get free tickets. He wants to go. Well, it's the biggest game since 2018 when the Bears beat the Packers to clinch the division. And even in context of the NFL's oldest rivalry, Saturday's rematch between the Bears and Packers at Soldier Field is pretty rare. The stakes are the highest we've seen in this matchup in a really long time. So whoever wins can clinch the NFC North with a Lions loss or a tie against the Steelers on Sunday. And according to NFL research, it's the latest ever Packers-Bears matchup in which the winner will take the division lead. This is the third matchup in the Super Bowl era where both the Bears and Packers are above 500. The first was back in 2001. The second was just 2 weeks ago. And it's a kind of high-pressure game that Ben Johnson's been preparing his team for.
I think part of our intent as coaches early on in this thing was to build a very poised unit that could handle pressure. And so that's our coaching style. That's why we're very demanding out of our guys. I think they have felt that from the springtime all the way up until now. And so because of that, I like to think that we thrive in high leverage and high pressure situations.
It's not as heightened as maybe as you would think it would be. I think everyone's got a really good demeanor. Going into that last game we played against these guys, I thought there was more juice going into the week, like almost too much, where I thought maybe there was a little pressing going on early in the game, and then you get in at halftime and realize, all right, this is still the same football. This is football. That's all it is. And so I feel like we got a good mentality going into this week, and hopefully we can kind of pick up where we left off.
Our coverage of the Bears and Packers Saturday begins with Bears Game Day Live at a special time of 1:30. Lou Canales, Anthony Herron, Tina Wynn, and I will have you covered for 90 minutes leading up to Fox NFL pregame. Kickoff, of course, is at 7:20, and be sure to stay with Fox Chicago after the game for full reaction and analysis, including post-game press conferences from Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. And coming up on the news at 5, we have much more Bears coverage, including their mindset heading into Saturday when I go one-on-one with Jalen Johnson.
All right, looking forward to it, Cassie. Thank you. So, question I'm sure you have now, what is the weather looking like for the big game? Meteorologist Mark Trell is here with a check of the forecast. Not as cold as the last Soldier Field game, right?
No, in fact, quite a bit warmer and more pleasant. Although I got to tell you, even though temperatures are going to be warmer during the day, they're going to start to take a little bit of a tumble as we go through the afternoon and into the evening. And winds are going to be a little breezy as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Temperatures today up to, well, only the 20s. Tomorrow we're up to 42 degrees. And on Sunday, we're back down into the 30s before Monday, Tuesday, and Christmas Eve. We push back up into the 40s. And guys, by Christmas Day, I'm talking about 50s for daytime highs.
No white Christmas, it sounds like. All right, Mark, thanks very much. Illinois Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy is the latest public official attempting to visit the Broadview ICE processing facility. Krishnamurthy says officials let him in after 2 previous failed attempts, says he was assured that detainees are able to contact attorneys and consulates for their countries of origin. But Krishnamurthy says Operation Midway Blitz has still gone too far.
My biggest concern is the people that they're targeting. They are allowed to target people who may have been arrested but not convicted of any crime whatsoever. And they are allowed to target and remove or start the removal proceedings for anybody who might be incidentally within their view as part of any operation that they conduct.
And Krishnamurthy is running for U.S. Senate against Congresswoman Robin Kelly and Illinois Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton.
Families in Chicago impacted by the recent ICE raids are getting some relief. It's thanks to a community-led effort called Operation Midway Bliss. Volunteers spent a day packing food and other essentials to send to these families. This effort started small with just 2 neighbors wanting to help kids in need in communities impacted by ICE. Quickly gained traction on social media. Organizers hope this support gives these families one less thing to worry about during the holidays.
Well, after a year of legal limbo, TikTok is staying in the U.S. TikTok's Chinese owner ByteDance announces a new American-led deal to take over the app's U.S. operations.
And 'twas the Friday before Christmas week, and millions of Americans across the country are already getting a jump start on holiday travel. Come on back.
I haven't even started shopping.
You're watching the home of the
The holiday travel rush is about to start this weekend. Chicago's airports are expecting nearly 4.8 million travelers between now and January 5th, which is about 6% more than last year. O'Hare is decking out the terminals with holiday decor, entertainment. You might even catch Santa, Mrs. Claus walking around today or tomorrow, too. There'll be live music every day through New Year's Eve. Rebecca Castor is at Reagan National Airport with more on this year's holiday rush.
'Tis the season for holiday travel, and it seems like we say this every year, but once again, travel experts are predicting a record number of people to travel over the next 13 days. It's the Friday before Christmas. And all across the country, millions of Americans are getting a jump start on holiday travel.
We're coming home to see family and friends. It'll be nice to be back home.
We weren't sure if we were going to be hitting the holiday, holiday craziness or not, but it's been an easy day.
AAA projects this year's peak travel period starts Saturday and will run through January 1st.
Pack as light as you can, especially if you're going to be traveling with gifts and you're going to be checking luggage.
For those traveling by air, about 8 million people are expected to fly, a 2.3% increase from last year.
Get to the airport 3 hours early. I know that sounds extreme, but these days most airports have so much to do.
And for those traveling by car, which is most of us, it's projected nearly 110 million will be hitting the roads, up 2% from 2024. Nationwide, gas prices are the lowest they've been in 5 years, falling below $3 per gallon.
It's not as painful at the pump.
It's always nice to have cheaper prices.
And if you're driving to the airport, it's suggested you show up early, reserve parking in advance, or use public transportation.
Yeah, I Ubered here and it was pretty easy.
As for which days you can expect to see the least amount of congestion, not surprisingly, Christmas and New Year's Day. At Ronald Reagan Airport outside Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Mark Strell, do you see weather getting in the way of the holiday rush at all?
You know, not here.
Okay.
We are in pretty good shape. What a beautiful shot that is, huh?
Yeah.
We've got a little sunshine. It is cold out. It's breezy. But here's the deal. We're going to see those temperatures continue to warm up overnight. And tomorrow looks pretty mild. Well, we were just talking about travel. This is the way the airports look now. And you can just see green all over at least our part of the world. Things might be a little bit different off to the East Coast and to the Northeast where they have some wind conditions and some precip. But we look pretty good locally here. Looking out over the lake, again, you can see the last little remnants of daylight today. Other side of the lake, they've had some lake effect snow for much of the day. That's true for all of the downwind lake effect snow bands across the Great Lakes, in spite of the fact that we've had dry conditions here. So we've been in pretty good shape here today. Should be in pretty good shape, really, for the next 5 to 7 days. I'm not looking at anything major coming our way. I'm just looking at temperatures that look pretty solid. Now, temps right now, well, they're well below average. We're in the teens. 18 degrees at both of the airports, 19 along the lake, 17 from DeKalb to Rockford into the Fox Valley. We've got temperatures in the lower teens and I should say lower 20s and upper teens across the South Shore, Southwest neighborhoods. And then combine that with the winds right now. Winds not all that stout, but still at 8 or 9 or 10 mile per hour wind. Makes it feel more like single digits just about everywhere. Makes it feel like 7 degrees right now in Aurora, 6 in DeKalb, 8 at O'Hare, 4 degrees above zero. Right now, the current wind chill value at Midway and 10 downtown. So conditions are still pretty chilly, but we are warming up, as you can see, as we take you through the overnight hours. By 9 o'clock, warmer than it is right now. By 1 o'clock in the morning, warmer than 10 o'clock. And by tomorrow morning, considerably warmer, about 10 degrees warmer than it will be right now. So decent temperatures tomorrow. We'll talk more about that Bears game temperature as well coming up.
All right, we'll see you then. Well, former Secretary of State Jesse White is giving back to the community in a big way.
Yeah, this morning his foundation held its annual holiday giveaway, distributing 10,000 turkeys and hams to families in need on the north side.
I believe that no one should have to worry about where the next meal is going to come from, especially when you have an organization like this that's been around for 59 years, making sure that we take care of our fellow man and woman and help our community to be a better place in which to live.
Now this marks the organization's 59th year hosting the giveaway.
DuPage County Toys for Tots in Lombard is doing something really special for local kids in need this holiday season. Last night they held a volunteer event where People could help unload toys for kids who need them. This year, they're teaming up with the Medina Shriners, the group behind Shriners Children's Hospital. We talked to one volunteer who shared how important these efforts are.
When nothing or no one believes in you, what's there left? What are you going to turn to? We go all the way up to age 12, and think about that. That is 6th grade. Where were you at 6th grade? Did you know what you were going to do? Did someone have faith in you?
If you want to make a difference for a child this season, there's still time. Toys for Tots has campaigns all over Chicagoland, not just in DuPage County. You can find the closest drop-off location on their website, or even sign up to volunteer and help out in their warehouse.
Well, if you haven't started your holiday shopping, that may or may not include me, you may be out of luck.
I didn't want to call you out, but the head nod did it. The shipping rush is nearing its peak. Also, TikTok's long-running U.S. saga may finally be coming to an end.
Saturday, a football doubleheader.
President Trump just renamed the Kennedy Center after himself, bypassing Congress. You're looking at workers starting to add the new signage this morning. It's now called the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts. This happened one day after the center's board, which Trump picked, voted for the name change. He is also the board's chairman.
TikTok is staying in the U.S. with a new multi-billion-dollar deal.
Darren Batalo breaks down the details.
TikTok users in the U.S. are celebrating, the app inching another step closer to securing its long-term future in the United States after the company announced a deal has been reached to spin off its U.S. business to American investors.
The concern has always been about where does the user data lie. This deal will now bring all of that data to the U.S. on Oracle servers, and so I think that alleviates a lot of the concerns about national security.
TikTok CEO saying in a memo on Thursday the deal will allow, quote, over 170 million Americans to continue discovering a world of endless possibilities as part of a vital global community.
We have American investors taking it over, running it, highly sophisticated.
The move comes after President Trump, who backed the deal, signed an executive order in September, helping finalize the app's $148 billion deal with U.S.-based technology firm Oracle to serve as TikTok's security provider for its American operations, and delaying enforcement of the ban or sale law to allow for the transaction's closure.
Presumably, they'll be more responsive to concerns here in the U.S., to Congress holding hearings and things like that, in terms of the abuses that are on it.
Still, there are questions regarding what changes, if any, there could be for America's approximately 136 million TikTok users.
It's not obvious what happens with this company going forward, because you just went from a global platform to a regional one. So that has some interesting sort of business strategy and competition questions that get raised.
And the deal is expected to close next month in Washington. Darren Botello, Fox 32, Chicago.
Well, the Bears are hoping to heat up this weekend's rivalry matchup with a new signature drink.
Yeah, when it's cold outside, nothing beats a cup of hot chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
The new Chicago-style cocoa being served at Soldier Field.
That's a huge marshmallow. Is that what?
Sounds like, is it spiked?
Oh, yes,
yes,
sign me
course,
up.
Chicago style. There you go.
Just say it. Oh, no. You can keep the Malort, though. We'll be right back.
If you want total health care from a provider you trust,
hi, Blair.
Right in the palm of your hand, if you want soup, sweatpants, and zero in-person contact, if you want wellness wherever, our virtual primary care delivers with great website manner.
No worries.
So choose your doctor from our profiles and enjoy the healthiest online relationship you've ever had. House calls have evolved. Advocate Healthcare.
Right now at 4:30, the Justice Department sues for access to Illinois' voter rolls.
Could Congress be the Grinch who stole Christmas? Lawmakers leave town without extending expiring health care subsidies.
And call it a holiday tradition, the inevitable last-minute gift run. Should you opt for online orders or a trip to the mall?
I will have to take note of that. But first, we're hearing from the family of a 60-year-old tamale vendor who was detained by federal agents while working on a Chicago street corner.
They say they have not been able to reach him and are concerned about his health. Leslie Moreno spoke with his son to find out what's happening. Leslie?
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, the family tells me that 68-year-old man was standing at this very corner here on Monday morning at the corner of 47th and Hermitage. The family tells me that's when federal agents pulled up and detained him. It was all caught on camera by a nearby business. Take a look at your screen there. Family members say that 68-year-old Federico Diaz, he was selling tamales like he normally does on Monday morning when that white vehicle with federal agents pulls up and detains him. According to his son, the family has been unable to confirm his location, and family is really worried tonight about his health. They tell me Diaz suffers from multiple medical and heart conditions, including asthma, and he relies heavily on daily medication. His son says Diaz has been in the U.S. for over 20 years, and he frequently sells tamales to provide for his family.
I told him to be careful because there were rumors that ICE was still around, but he has bills to pay and rent was due. That's why he was out there selling tamales. We're worried because he has a heart condition and asthma. He can't be without his medicine for too long. His medicine is at home. We just want to know if anyone can help us get him his medication.
And family members are urging federal authorities to provide an update or to at least give some guidance on how they can get that medication to him. I have reached out to both ICE and to DHS, Department of Homeland Security, to see what they have to say about this. We are still waiting for a response. For now, reporting live in Chicago's South Side, Leslie Moreno, Fox Chicago.
All right, Leslie, thanks a lot. And a judge is denying a request to release body cam video showing the moments before a Border Patrol agent shot a woman 5 times in Chicago. The decision comes nearly a month after the DOJ dropped charges against Marimar Martinez. She was previously charged with assaulting, resisting, and impeding federal officers.
The federal agent who led this week's immigration raids in Chicago has left the city again. Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino was in Chicago Tuesday and Wednesday. He led about 200 federal agents making arrests in city neighborhoods and nearby suburbs. By Thursday, Bovino was gone, according to the Tribune. Officials have not said whether the operations are finished or could return.
The Department of Justice is suing Illinois over its refusal to release millions of voter records. The lawsuit claims the Board of Elections is violating a federal civil rights law. The DOJ says the law gives the U.S. Attorney General sweeping powers to obtain the records. Similar lawsuits have been filed against Georgia, Wisconsin, and the District of Columbia.
Now, the senators are heading home for the holidays. The subsidies for Affordable Care Act health insurance premiums will expire January 1st. Lawmakers made a last-minute push Thursday to find a solution, but they couldn't reach an agreement. Now, they'll have just a few weeks to address it before a partial government shutdown on January 30th. AI tech led the rally on Wall Street today. Oracle's stock jumped over 7% after China's ByteDance made deals for a U.S. TikTok joint venture. Next week, we'll get a few delayed economic reports, including the gross domestic product report on Tuesday.
Well, it's getting down to the wire. If you're sending out gifts or cards you want to arrive by Christmas, don't remind me.
And you better believe postal workers are working nonstop. Amalia Roy is live at a USPS facility in Arizona to show how they're getting it done. It sounds busy.
Terrence, Paris, it is busy because what you have behind me are 10 conveyor belts working so that up to 50,000 packages an hour can be sorted through this facility. It is a one-of-a-kind here for USPS. This Avondale facility is a regional hub for all of their ground shipping throughout the Southwest. In the past year, USPS has been making investments to up its capacity from 60 million packages a day to 88 million. Post officials credit years of investing on operations and adding more than 230,000 full-time employees. The agency's also installed more than 600 package sorters in facilities across the country.
It's awesome if you look behind me to see how fast we're able to process this and do it efficiently. Just to stand here and watch the packages go by.
But even with all of this increased capacity, it's still important to remember holiday shipping deadlines so you're not scrambling right before Christmas. So if you want your packages under the tree on time, tomorrow is the last recommended day to ship through USPS. For UPS, the shipping deadline is December 23rd and December 24th for FedEx. But the USPS also has some advice. If you have your presents wrapped and ready to go and ship them as soon as possible. You don't want to have that anxiety coming closer to Christmas. You could also save some money doing it the earlier, the better. In Avondale, Arizona, Amalia Roy, Fox 32 Chicago.
All right, Amalia, thank you. And then for the people who aren't online shopping and maybe they need to do some last-minute shopping at the malls around the area.
I'm already feeling that anxiety she was talking about. Yeah, so Mark, what's it going to be like if I have to rush out to the mall? And for the 65,000 folks looking to have some fun tomorrow night.
Well, first of all, we should explain to boys and girls what the mall is.
Right.
That's a place where all the stores are gathered in one place, and you go shop there under one roof, right?
Oh, with the pretzel shop, usually a place you can get cinnamon rolls too.
Cinnabon.
Yeah, I can even predate that. Orange Julius.
Oh, that's still around.
That's going back in history. What, there's still one around? Really?
Oh, there's many of them.
Get out of here. Road trip.
Mango Madness.
We've got some fair weather inside and outside of the mall. As we go through the rest of the overnight hours, our temperatures are actually going to increase. In fact, tomorrow when the sun first comes up, I think our temperatures are going to be at least 10 degrees warmer than they are right now. Now, it is going to be windy. The wind's going to transport the warmer temperatures in. We'll have some higher gusts as we go through the early part of the day tomorrow. Winds gusting at times up to around 30 miles per hour. They taper off a little bit, but then pick up again during the evening for the Bears game. It looks like field goal kicking could be problematic with winds gusting up into the 20-mile-per-hour category. And then when those winds fall off again. All right, nice and shiny at the bean. Always folks there. The next couple of days look like this. Look at these temperatures. A cool one on Sunday with temperatures around the freezing mark. But as we go into Christmas Eve, 49 degrees. Right now, I've got 57 penciled in for Christmas Day.
All right, we'll take it. After the break, a bus driver saves a student. The video is just ahead.
Hope for the holidays. The Bears going an extra mile to surprise a local veteran.
Also from films to books and music, former President Obama drops his best of list for 2025. Oh, Olivia Dean, very good singer.
I don't know how he gets to read all those books. How he has time to do all that. There's a lot of books on that list.
Come on back.
I feel guilty. I haven't read anything.
At all.
Here's what's coming.
Former President Barack Obama released his annual music recommendations this week.
His tastes range from R&B, rap to pop, with Drake and Chappell Roan making the list. No surprise, Kendrick Lamar and SZA's Grammy-nominated song Luther, also on the former president's music. You want to keep humming, keep humming?
I don't know the rest of the song.
Okay, on the president's music rotation this year, along with British singer-songwriter Olivia Dean's Nice to Each Other.
Yeah, great album. Mr. Obama also sharing some of his favorite movies, books, and TV shows from 2025. He also watched a lot of movies. He listed one battle after another, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor. I hear it's fantastic. I haven't seen it yet.
It's Jake's favorite movie
of the year. Ryan Coogler's Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan, as some of his favorites as well. And then on the former president's list are Sentimental Value and Good Fortune. Now, and this had to have happened, or he would have been in the doghouse, I think. Topping his book list is The Look by former First Lady Michelle Obama.
10 out of 10.
Can you imagine if he did not put her on the list?
He might get the stink on.
Yeah, the drama would start. All right, folks, Christmas is just 6 days away, and a lot of us are listening to our favorite holiday tunes.
Christmas music tends to spark joy, but there's a handful of songs that music experts say are guaranteed to make everybody happy, like this one.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop.
Now, experts say Brenda Lee's Rocking Around the Christmas Tree hits all the right notes. The list was created by a music psychologist who spent hours compiling a playlist of the happiest Christmas songs. I like sad Christmas songs too, though. Loneliness on Christmas.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Anything Boys to Men, I'm
Boyz II
good
Men.
too. Their Let It Snow song.
Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
This will put a smile on your face. A familiar face brought a little extra comfort today for families spending their first Christmas, their baby's first Christmas in the hospital. Santa made an early visit to the NICU at Northwestern Medicine Central DuPage Hospital in Winfield. He brought holiday cheer and a chance for parents to take their baby's first photo with St. Nick, creating a moment of joy during what you can imagine is a stressful time for them. All right, the Chicago Fire Department helped Santa by picking up one of his elves, Bestie. She's been visiting the U Chicago Charter Donahue campus for 3 years. This year, Bestie was introduced by Principal Shamila Woods Pettis. Her shenanigans included hanging from the ceiling, sitting on the rooftop, sledding in the halls. She is heading back to the North Pole to tell Santa who's been naughty or nice. And spoiler alert, all the students at Donahue made the nice list.
Congratulations to them. The Bears and United Airlines are giving one U.S. military member a holiday surprise to remember. The organizations reunited this year's Home for the Holidays honoree with his family at O'Hare today. Christian Rokaida is this year's honoree. He currently serves in Seattle. Wasn't able to afford a trip home for the holidays this year. The Southside native is a longtime Bears fan, and the team is pulling out all the stops to welcome him home. He and his family will get a special tour of Hallis Hall and meet and greet with Bears alumni. He'll also get to see the Bears take on the Packers tomorrow.
I'm super excited. I'm a huge Bears fan. I hate the Packers, so happy to see us beat the Pack. I'm from the South Side of Chicago. We're the monsters of the Midway, so for me, it's kind of like our culture, being a Bears fan. It's fun, the rivalry with the Packers especially.
Be a great day for him. Tomorrow he'll be honored as an honorary captain at kickoff.
A school bus driver in Crown Point is being praised for saving a choking child.
Today, we have a hero among us. We want to congratulate and thank Amy Kuykendall for her quick response yesterday at MacArthur. Young man was choking and she jumped in and helped dislodge the piece of hard candy stuck in his mouth, and not being silly with this, but saved a student's life yesterday. Amy, we appreciate you. You're one of the best. When you get back to the station, we've got a little something special for you.
An angel on earth. Amy stepped in quickly to help, and the superintendent recognized her today. He said her reaction shows how much the district's teachers and staff care for their students, treating them like their own.
And after the break, we'll get an update on your holiday forecast. Plus, the Bears are rolling out a new drink. We're finally going to learn about what's in that Chicago-style hot chocolate.
And before we go to break, here's a look at your trip home. No red. Well, some
little
red.
bit.
We'll be right back.
Start your week.
Bears fans will be glued to their screens tomorrow as the team works to clinch a playoff berth.
Now the Bears will host the Packers, and hopefully the outcome will be better than a midweek NFC challenge. The Salvation Army challenged the Bears, Packers, and Vikings to a red kettle matchup, and here's the outcome. The Bears raised $588. The Packers raised $687, and the Vikings were the big spenders. They raised $750. Now the funds will help families in Illinois, Wisconsin, and Minnesota this winter.
Awesome cause. All right, if you're heading to Soldier Field this weekend for the game, there's a new drink option for you to try. The Chicago-style hot chocolate. It's infused with Malort and Amaretto, the Serrano liqueur, topped with a toasted, salted caramel marshmallow.
Yeah, I'll say that the fans will be toasted, all toasty tomorrow if they drink that.
I'm just trying to picture how that would taste. And I could probably sit here for the next 45 minutes and still not be able to come up with that taste in my mind.
Trying to think how the flavors of the two liqueurs will go together.
It will either work really well or
not at all.
That's a live picture right there of where the little contest will be played tomorrow.
Oh, there's that, isn't there?
Yeah, a little game of sorts. I don't know what they're doing. They're warming up the field there with the lights, right? You think? We've got, I'm just kidding. You know, it'll be much warmer coming up this time tomorrow than it will be right now because we have temperatures actually warming up. Right now, they'll be warming up overnight. It's not warm outside right now. In fact, it's 18 degrees. Feels like 8 above when you factor in the wind chill. But again, our temperature is increasing overnight tonight. And you can see some of the warmer temperatures, not much warmer, but a little bit warmer down to the south. 22 degrees now in Utica and LaSalle, Peru, 21 degrees in Ottawa. It is in the mid-teens up in McHenry County, 17 in Rockford. And those warmer temperatures are going to push us up as the winds come in from the south and from the southwest. And we'll see those temperatures up all the way up to the upper 20s tomorrow by the time the sun comes out. Today, right now, it is cold air blasting out of the north and picking up the moisture off the lakes and producing lake effect snow all over the place, downwind side of Lake Michigan. So tomorrow, temperatures of 42. Now, those temperatures are not going to be holding around for the game tomorrow night. We're going to start to see those numbers tick down, but still significantly more mild than it was the last time these two teams got together. 31 degrees, and certainly last week, 31 degrees on Sunday. And then we're warming back up Monday, 40 degrees, our high temperature. Futurecast does show a couple of little disturbances pushing through. I don't know if we're going to see much activity here. Models are kind of, nip and tuck on that. But if we do see anything, it'll be pretty minor. I think mostly what we're going to see are these wild gyrations in temperatures again, from cold right now to warmer tomorrow to cold on Sunday. And then that warm trend continues to take off as we go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and especially into Thursday and Christmas Day. I'm forecasting high temperatures all the way up into the middle and even the upper 50s. I think we'll see 60 degrees across parts of northern Illinois on Christmas Day. 28 degrees overnight tonight. Now that comes later this evening. In fact, it comes very late overnight tonight. Winds out of the south, 15, gusting at times to 25, even 30 miles per hour. So rising temperatures, rising significantly overnight tonight. 42 tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. Winds continue out of the south-southwest, and we'll have some high gusts tomorrow, gusting up to around 30 miles per hour. So 42 might not feel all that comfortable with those higher winds. 31 degrees, sunshine on Sunday. Monday, we're 40, 45 degrees on Tuesday, 49 on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, I'm penciling 57. We could even be a couple of degrees warmer, and we stay mild all the way to the end of the 7-day forecast with temperatures into the upper 40s. So mild weather coming our way. We'll take another look at the forecast, give you an update a little later in this hour.
Patrick Dempsey.
I'm Luke Canellis with your Portillo Sports Minute. It always sounds good. How about this? This sounds great. Bears-Packers on the lakefront here in Chicago. You got it for the NFC North title, of course, if the Lions lose as well. Key to the game for the Bears, they need to get to Jordan Love with their front four. No blitzing. You can't blitz with your DBs like you did in the first matchup, over 42% of the time of his dropbacks. The guys up front need to get to Love. On offense, I want to see the Bears run the football with DeAndre Swift. Obviously, Kyle Monangai, offensive line needs to come through. And Caleb Williams, take your chances. You can have success throwing downfield against this Green Bay secondary that's beat up. That is your Portillo Sports Minute. It always sounds good.
Who's it going to be throwing to? Two receivers are out. Anyway, the world's top bull riders are back in the Chicago area. The Unleash the Beast series takes over the United Center this weekend. Jake Hamilton has a preview.
That's right, guys. We are out here behind the scenes at the United Center where, you know, normally there's a different kind of Chicago Bulls that people come out to see. But this weekend is something special. Come on out and take a look at this. PBR Unleash the Beast. It is tonight and Saturday night. It is the toughest sport on dirt. And one of the reasons why is this man right here, Colton. Hello, Colton. Good to see you, man. Professional bull rider. Welcome to Chicago.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. First of all, how you feeling? You're going to be taking on a bull tonight?
Yes, sir. I feel pretty good. Tonight's the first night, and we're pretty excited about it.
Fantastic. Well, walk with me for a second, because you guys are giving us some really great access to this place. You know, getting on a bull, riding a bull is something that most people will never experience, will never know what it's actually like. What are those 8 seconds like? How do you describe that to people who will never have that experience like you?
It's trying to control like a car wreck. It's a controlling an out of control situation. So it's the longest 8 seconds of your life, but it's worth it.
Our next guest, I would argue, the most important person that's going to be at the United Center this weekend. This is Jared Groney. Jared, you are the safety man. Explain to people what that means exactly.
So I'm the second line of defense behind the bullfighters. The bullfighters are the main line of safety to protect the bull riders. But if somebody gets knocked out or goes down, we can get in there and kind of help control the situation.
So take me to that situation. What has to happen? Because, your eyes are on these guys. You know, we were saying in the last hour, 8 seconds. But 8 seconds is a long time when you're on the back of that bull. What has to happen for you to say, all right, I need to get involved?
Don't miss would be the first thought that goes through my mind. But it all depends upon the situation. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of people in the arena. But we want the show and the production to go smoothly, so that's I judge it based upon that.
All right, guys, if you want to see a different kind of Chicago Bull out here at the United Center, all you got to do is come on out tonight or tomorrow. PBR, it is an event unlike anything you've ever seen. This one's called Unleash the Beast. Tickets start at just under $40. So much fun to be had. You don't want to miss it. On that note, we're going to toss it back to you guys in the studio.
A different kind of bull at the United Center. That was good, Jake, but Jake didn't get on the bull to give us a demonstration of
Probably
that.
a good idea, though, that he did not.
Yes, we'll see him again. Now, thanks for watching the news at 4.
Here's what we have tonight at 5. The Midwest Super Bowl is almost here. We have a preview of the big rematch against the Packers.
The CTA comes up with a new safety plan, but the feds are saying not good enough.
And we're following breaking news after months of debate. Chicago City Council passes a budget. Thanks for being with us at 5. I'm Terrence Lee.
And I'm Paris Schutz in for Tia tonight. Let's get right to Chicago's budget. City Council approved the so-called alternative revenue ordinance by a 29-19 vote today. It closes a nearly $1.2 billion budget gap by legalizing video gambling terminals in bars and restaurants, selling off debt to collectors, and instituting a host of new revenue items like a new cloud computing tax. The passage comes after an 11th hour attempt by Mayor Brandon Johnson to reintroduce that $33 corporate head tax that would apply to Chicago's largest companies. That was tabled for the moment. Mayor Johnson, meanwhile, did not say whether he'd sign or veto the budget.
This budget is based on speculations that,
I have serious concerns about, and a number of members of City Council have those concerns as well. And furthermore, there's an opportunity to actually, move forward collectively with this compromised approach without, again, going after working people and poor people.
The reaction pouring in from all over the city today. The Illinois Manufacturers Association applauds Alders for standing up to the head tax, but calls the final plan, quote, far from perfect. And the Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce says it's an improvement from the mayor's proposal, but still places a disproportionate share of new taxes on business.
Both budgets are hugely difficult for Chicago's businesses. Both budgets have business having more skin in the game by a margin of 4-1. But these budgets represent choices, and while the alternative looks to the future difficult as it is, the other chooses to build its house on sand.
Now, the budget is 5 votes short of a veto-proof majority, meaning if the mayor turns it down, it'll go back to council for more debate. Council is expected to meet again tomorrow to consider more budget-related items as we await what Mayor Johnson wants to do.
All right, let's see what we can await in the weather world as we take a live look outside for you tonight. All the folks out there at the Bean. It might feel a little rough today. Tomorrow might surprise you, though. Mark, what should people know heading into the weekend?
Temperatures overnight, the next 12 hours are going to go up a good 10 degrees from where they are right now. It is cold out right now, but they will warm up a bit tomorrow. It's still going to be windy, still going to be a little raw at times, but temperatures at least up into the 40s. Sunday crashes a bit. We're back down in the low 30s, and then we start to warm up Monday, Tuesday, Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day. I've got temperatures on Christmas Day just shy of 60 degrees. Big travel time period, and right now, at least around the Midwest, our airport's pretty good shape. We do have partly cloudy skies here at the moment. We have clouds the other side of the lake, winds coming down from the north and the northwest right now, picking up that moisture off the lakes. A lot of snow on the downwind lake effect snow belts. But for us, our wind's shifting more to the south, and that's going to allow temperatures to warm up overnight tonight and throughout the day tomorrow.
Let's get to some breaking news right now that we're following. The Justice Department has released thousands of records on Jeffrey Epstein. That includes new photos, call logs, some of which are heavily redacted. The total number of records that will be released today has not been confirmed, but the Deputy Attorney General says that he expects the department to release several 100,000. And that full release will take weeks to complete. The records could contain the most detailed look yet at nearly 2 decades worth of government investigations into his sexual abuse of young women and underage girls.
And more breaking news we're following tonight. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is announcing the start of efforts to, quote, eliminate ISIS fighters and weapon sites in Syria. This comes after 2 U.S. Army soldiers and an American interpreter were killed in an Islamic State attack in the country earlier this week. They were working with local partners when an attacker shot at them. Hegseth says this is not the beginning of a war, but a, quote, declaration of vengeance, adding that the U.S. will, quote, never hesitate and never relent to defend our people. The man charged with setting a woman on fire on the Blue Line is pleading not guilty in his arraignment today. Lawrence Reed faces a terrorism charge in the case that we've reported on his lengthy rap sheet as well. He's also facing new arson charges for allegedly trying to set City Hall on fire 3 days before the CTA attack. He's due back in court next month for a status hearing.
Dozens more police officers and K-9 units are on patrol at various CTA stations across the city.
Yeah, we're now hours into Chicago's new security plan to keep you safe while riding mass transit, but already there was another scary incident.
Brett Rogansky's live in Wicker Park. Brett, you found out ATF arrested a man at the Damon Blue Line stop.
That's absolutely correct, and we confirmed with Chicago police that a 52-year-old man set himself on fire while he was on a moving CTA train here at the Damon Avenue Blue Line stop. This is in Wicker Park, and this happened just after 6 o'clock this morning. Take a look at this cell phone video. This was on the Blue Line. I happened to be riding it at the time I took this cell phone video, and this is what it appears to show. It shows a burn mark on the platform, a paper bag, and a Chicago firefighter and CTA worker there at the Damon Avenue Wicker Park stop. And this fire resulted in some delays this morning on the Blue Line. The CTA and CPD said they're adding more officers and on buses and trains, with that average going from 77 a day to 120. K-9 guards will go up from 172 to 188. However, hours ago, we heard from Federal Transit Administrator Mark Molinaro, who said this plan isn't good enough and that the administration is once again threatening to withhold $50 million if the CTA doesn't submit a more aggressive plan within 90 days.
This is an all-hands-on-deck moment. The state and the city ought to be investing both in prevention, intervention, and enforcement tools to support CTA and develop a strategy that protects workers and protects the riders of the system. And if they can develop such a plan that through their submission reduces month-on-month, significantly reduces assaults against workers and riders, then the action of withholding dollars may not be necessary.
We just heard from Mark Molinaro, who appeared just hours ago on our program Chicago Live. And we've heard from some CTA riders all day long who talked about their safety, how they feel about it, and this latest threat from the Trump administration.
I feel a little bit more safe and now there are more dogs. You know, it's just an extra layer of protection.
I'm personally very skeptical of when the federal administration steps in on our cities, the way we run things around here. I don't know the last time Trump's taken the CTA.
I feel most of the time I do feel safe. There are some times where at night I travel and it does get a little bit sketchy. But lately I've noticed more security around and I definitely feel a lot safer.
Hear a little bit of difference of opinions there from some of the riders we spoke to today. We did reach out to the CTA to get their side of the story about this latest threat from the Trump administration and Mark Molinaro. They said they got the message and they said they were going to submit a plan within that time frame of 90 days. Meanwhile, that 52-year-old man ended up going to Stroger Hospital with some burns. He is expected to be okay, but as we were just talking about, he is now in ATF custody. We are live in Wicker Park tonight. Brett Pagansky, Fox Chicago.
All right, Brett, thanks a lot. And tonight we're hearing from the family of a 68-year-old tamale vendor who was detained by federal agents while working on a Chicago street corner.
They say they have not been able to reach him, and they are pretty concerned about his health. Leslie Marino spoke with his son to find out what's happening. Leslie?
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, family tells me he was standing at this very corner here on 47th and Hermitage on Monday morning when federal agents detained him. It was all caught on camera by a nearby business. Take a look. Family members tell me that is 68-year-old Federico Diaz. He was selling tamales like he normally does on Monday morning when that white vehicle with federal agents pulled up and detained him. According to his son, the family has been unable to confirm his location. Family is really worried about his health. They tell me Diaz suffers from multiple medical and heart conditions, including asthma, and relies heavily on daily medication. His son says Diaz has been in the U.S. for over 20 years, and he frequently sells tamales to provide for his family.
I told him to be careful because there were rumors that ICE was still around, but he has bills to pay and rent was due. That's why he was out there selling tamales. We're worried because he has a heart condition and asthma. He can't be without his medicine for too long. His medicine is at home. We just want to know if anyone can help us get him his medication.
And family is urging federal authorities to provide an update or to at least provide some guidance on how they can get that medication to him. We have reached out to both ICE and DHS, Department of Homeland Security. We are still waiting for a response. In Chicago's South Side, Leslie Moreno, Fox Chicago.
Leslie, thank you. A judge is denying a request to release body cam video showing the moments before a Border Patrol agent shot a woman 5 times in Chicago. The decision comes nearly a month after the DOJ dropped charges against Marimar Martinez. She was previously charged with assaulting, resisting, and impeding federal officers.
All right, let's call it the Midwest Super Bowl. We're one day away from the big game. The Bears and Packers rematch is tomorrow night, this time on home turf. But where will home turf be in the future? As we've been reporting for the last 48 hours, Bears CEO Kevin Warren wrote a letter to season ticket holders saying they are expanding their search for a new stadium site to include Northwest Indiana. Our Tia Ewing went on a ride-along in Gary today, and we'll have a special report from her tomorrow night after the game. But, of course, Team leaders focus on the future. The players and the coach have their sights squarely set on taking down Green Bay.
Yeah, time to pack them up. Cassie Carlson is here with a preview of the big rematch. Hey, Cassie.
Terrence, you even got all the sports lingos down. I love it.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Okay, we love it. You're welcome to this club. Biggest game since 2018 when the Bears beat the Packers to clinch the division. And even in the context of the NFL's oldest rivalry, Saturday's rematch between the Bears and Packers at Soldier Field is pretty rare. The stakes are the highest we've seen in a matchup in a very long time. Whoever wins can clinch the NFC North with a Lions loss or tie against the Steelers on Sundays. And according to NFL research, it's the latest ever Packers-Bears matchup in which the winner will take the division lead. This is the third matchup in the Super Bowl era where both the Bears and Packers are above 500. The first was back in 2001, and the second was just, of course, 2 weeks ago. It's the kind of high-pressure game that Ben Johnson's been preparing his team for.
I think part of our intent as coaches early on in this thing was to build a very poised unit that could handle pressure. And so that's our coaching style. That's why we're very demanding out of our guys. I think they have felt that from the springtime all the way up until now. And so because of that, I like to think that we thrive in high leverage and high pressure situations.
It's not as heightened as maybe as you would think it would be. I think everyone's got a really good demeanor. Going into that last game we played against these guys, I thought there was more juice going into the week, like almost too much, where I thought maybe there was a little pressing going on early in the game, and then you get in at halftime and realize, all right, this is still the same football. This is football. That's all it is. And so I feel like we got a good mentality going into this week, and hopefully we can kind of pick up where we left off.
And coming up later in sports, we have much more on the Bears' mindset heading into Saturday when I go one-on-one with Jalen Johnson, Paris.
All right, Cassie, can't wait. And still ahead on the news at 5, another push in Broadview to get access to the ICE detention facility.
Plus, after a days-long manhunt for the suspect in the Brown University shooting, it was a Reddit post that led police to the alleged gunman.
And we are live in North Carolina, where officials just released new information in the deadly plane crash that killed a former NASCAR driver.
NASCAR racing legend Greg Biffle, his wife, and their 2 children are among 7 people killed after this plane crash in North Carolina. Happened yesterday. Chelsea Torres is live near that crash site in Statesville, North Carolina. Chelsea, what's the latest?
Hi, Terrence. Well, NTSB investigators got here overnight. They've been surveying this wreckage site all day. Actually, not too long ago, they just left now that it's getting dark here. But they did say earlier that they believe that the plane hit some trees, 2 runway lights, and even part of a fence before it crashed. Now, investigators are looking for pieces of the plane that might have broken off when it went down. The Cessna 550 was registered to a company owned by retired NASCAR driver Greg Biffle. Biffle, his wife, and 2 children were on board along with 3 other people. According to flight tracking data from FlightAware, Biffle's plane was headed to the Bahamas, but shortly after takeoff, the plane looped around, then hit the ground, bursting in flames. The Fox Forecast Center says because of fog and heavy drizzle yesterday, visibility went from 5 miles to 2.5 in just 20 minutes at the time of the crash. Investigators say they have recovered the cockpit voice recorder, but it's still too early to say what happened.
At this point, we are not aware if there was an actual issue or not. We are studying a lot of things. We are trying to get recordings from the various frequencies that the aircraft may have been on, and any other witness statements that may have heard anything on the common frequency.
Biffle is named one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers with 19 wins under his belt. Biffle was active with relief efforts after Hurricane Helene hit western North Carolina just last year. He's been delivering things like EpiPens, tactical boots for first responders, Starlinks, food, and even gas. Now, investigators say at this time they are not sure who exactly was flying that plane, and they are not aware of any Mayday calls, but they do plan to have a preliminary report here in the next 30 days. In Statesville, North Carolina, Chelsea Torres, Fox 32, Chicago.
The manhunt is over for the suspect in both the mass shooting at Brown University and the deadly shooting of a professor at MIT. Claudio Valente was found dead at a New Hampshire storage facility last night from a self-inflicted wound. Police tracking him down with the help of an anonymous tip submitted on Reddit. Investigators say a former Brown student who's now experiencing homelessness locked eyes with the gunman just hours before the shooting. Then he reportedly followed him out of the building through a neighborhood and took note of the suspect's vehicle. That information led police to his body. The motive for the shootings is still under investigation, but we do know the alleged shooter attended Brown in 2001 to study physics. The year before, he attended the same Portuguese university as the MIT professor who was killed.
Some general gripe against the school, somebody leading a slipping down life. And then there's this professor at MIT who seems to have been everything that this guy perhaps wanted to be.
The green card lottery program that allowed the Brown shooting suspect to enter the United States has been suspended by the White House. The Department of Homeland Security says the suspect enrolled in the program back in 2017 and was promptly issued a green card. Workers at the Kennedy Center are now adding Donald Trump's name to the building. The sign, as you can see here, now says the Donald J. Trump in the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts. Just a day ago, the center's board, which was picked by Trump, voted in favor of this name change. Legally, though, the name cannot be changed without authorization from Congress. TikTok is one step closer to reaching a deal that will allow it to keep operating in our country. The company now has signed an agreement that would transfer its ownership to 3 American investors. President Trump signed an executive order back in September helping push this deal. American officials say it would help protect your data.
The concern has always been about where does the user data lie. This deal will now bring all of that data to the U.S. on Oracle servers, and so I think that alleviates a lot of the concerns about national security.
It's not clear yet if any changes will be made to the app. The deal is expected to close next week. All right, we go from bundled up today to maybe lighter jackets tomorrow, Mark?
Yeah, and certainly as we go through the next 7 days, keep those light and medium jackets handy. Now, tonight, yeah, we're talking about puffy coats, especially with temperatures that are still in the teens. We've got wind chills that are even down into the single digits here this evening. But the good news is overnight tonight, our temperatures are going to warm about 10 degrees more than we have right now. So a pretty strong warm-up overnight into the early morning hours. Winds right now fairly light. They're all under 10 miles per hour. but that's still good enough to put the wind chills down into the single digits. Feels like 8 in Aurora, feels like 7 degrees up the North Shore, 15 now in Woodstock, feels 7 in the southwest suburbs. So a cold night overnight tonight, but warming, and we'll continue to see those numbers go up hour by hour as we go through the overnight hours. 20 by 10 o'clock, 24 by 2 a.m. And tomorrow morning, just before sunrise, we make it all the way up to just about the freezing mark. Highs tomorrow in the 40s, but it's going to be windy. I'll tell you more about that coming up.
Saturday, a football doubleheader.
We're learning more about the arrest of the former University of Michigan head football coach.
It has been more than a week since Jerome Moore was arrested, but officials are just now releasing his mugshot. Moore allegedly had a years-long inappropriate relationship with a Michigan staffer, and new court documents claim he had a long history of domestic violence toward the staffer, including entering her home without permission. He reportedly threatened his own life after she called off their relationship. That incident later led to his arrest.
It's like a mixture of rotten eggs and sewer.
Walk into a porta-john that ain't been cleaned.
I would rather spend August having a picnic next to the wastewater treatment facility.
Well, those are people living in St. George, Utah, describing a horrible smell coming from a nearby dairy plant. The plant produces milk, ice cream, and other products, but its wastewater tanks are creating that stench.
It's always the smell. You always smell it, but the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks has been like horrendous. The last 3 weeks, it's been the worst I've ever smelled.
Okay, the wastewater tanks are supposed to be treated with a chemical every day that reduces the smell, but apparently that hasn't been done for weeks. The mayor there says personnel changes have left the facility without people to monitor or supervise the waste maintenance. The city spokesperson said the smell is not toxic, but they're working on fixing the issue.
Yuck. Yuck to this story, too. A delivery driver is in a lot of trouble after allegedly pepper spraying a customer's food. Yeah, you heard me right, and you're seeing this right. You can see the DoorDash driver spray something at the Arby's bag she just dropped off at the door. This happened in Kentucky. The homeowner says he checked the security camera after his wife ate the food and started choking, gasping, and throwing up. The driver claimed she was spraying a spider, though investigators say it was too cold for spiders to be active. So, homegirl's looking at some felony charges right now.
Unless it was one of those cold weather spiders, I don't know. Another animal here. Happy ending for a viral pig in Maryland. This is Bimbap. The 124-pound pig won hearts online after an animal shelter posted he was up for adoption. After just one day, the shelter says Bimbap is now, how many times can I say Bimbap? Bimbap is now off to live his best life amongst other pigs. You go, Bimbap.
One more time.
Bimbap.
I love it. All right, and surf's up for these Santas. Hundreds of Kris Kringles hanging 10 with surfer friends in Florida. The annual tradition happens at Cupco Beach every year on Christmas Eve. Santas were out practicing their moves in their red suit. This will be the 17th year for the Holly Jolly spectacle.
We haven't won the Super Bowl since 1968. And it's 2025, the year you were born.
A new dad in New York is making sure his son learns what it takes to be a Jets fan. This video has gone viral. It shows him reading a baby book to his son on the history of the New York Jets. There's a lot of losing in that history. Sorry. Adding his own commentary as a lifelong super fan. To be a Jets fan. More tough than being a Bears fan, but you know what? You got to root for your team. Still ahead on the news at 5. It's the calm before the storm at airports all over the country.
Oh, yeah, the holiday travel rush officially begins tomorrow. We'll tell you what you can expect.
Bears fans likely know the good, better, best chant by heart now, but how did it all start? We take a look at the chant's history.
And the Bears have been on the wrong side of the Bears-Packers history as of late, but Jalen Johnson likes the mindset of the team as they get ready for the game tomorrow, looking for their 11th win of the season. Plus, two people who know plenty about the pressure in the NFL weigh in on the Bears' mindset. We hear from Richard Dent and Otis Wilson on the 2025 Bears later in sports.
Here's what's coming up in sports.
Seconds away from 5:30 now on Fox 32 for you. Weather whiplash. Temperatures have been bouncing up and down all week, and that doesn't appear to be ending anytime soon.
The holiday travel rush is almost here. We'll tell you just how busy the skies and roads are expected to be.
Off the top, Illinois Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy is the latest public official attempting to visit the Broadview ICE processing facility.
Yeah, Krishnamurthy says officials let him in after 2 previous failed attempts. He says he was assured while he was in there that detainees are able to contact attorneys and consulates for their countries of origin. But Krishnamurthy still says Operation Midway Blitz is going too far.
My biggest concern is the people that they're targeting. They are allowed to target people who may have been arrested but not convicted of any crime whatsoever. And they are allowed to target and remove or start the removal proceedings for anybody who might be incidentally within their view as part of any operation that they conduct.
And Catholic leaders are also trying to get into the detention center. They're sending a letter to DHS seeking to go inside on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day so they can provide communion and pastoral care.
They will not have access to the body of Christ in the Eucharist on Christmas. They are denied pastoral care, which is their right by law. We cannot be silent when this most basic religious freedom is denied, trampled upon.
This group has already requested permission to enter the ICE facility several times this year, including twice in October and once in November. They say DHS never responded. Well, families in Chicago have been impacted by the recent ICE raids are getting a little relief. It's all thanks to a community-led effort called Operation Midway Bliss. Volunteers spent today packaging food and other essentials to send to impacted families. Operation Midway Bliss started small, just 2 neighbors, to help get gifts to children in need in communities hit hard by ICE. The operation quickly took off on social media. Organizers are hoping the support means these families have one less thing to worry about during the holidays.
Today is considered the last of the normal travel days before the holiday rush sets in. An estimated 122 million Americans are expected to hit the skies and hit the roads over the next few weeks. AAA predicts this year's peak travel period starts Saturday, will run through January 1st. For those traveling by air, about 8 million people are expected to fly, a more than 2% increase from last year. And Chicago's airports are going to be seeing a huge chunk of that holiday rush. At O'Hare, more than 4 million people are expected to pass through over the next 2.5 weeks. That is more than 220,000 people every day. The busiest day, Sunday. Now, at Midway, the airport is set to average 42,000 people every day, and the most people will likely be passing through next Saturday.
Get to the airport 3 hours early. I know that sounds extreme, but these days, most airports have so much to do.
All right, for anyone driving, gas prices across the country are the lowest they've been in 5 years, falling below $3 per gallon. And when it comes to the roads in Illinois, the tollway says you will likely see the most traffic tomorrow and next Tuesday. Nearly 2 million cars are expected to use the tollway system. If you're driving on the actual holidays, you should be in the clear. Not as many cars are expected on Christmas and New Year's Day.
Former Secretary of State Jesse White is giving back to a local community in a big way this year. This morning, his foundation held its annual holiday giveaway, distributing 10,000 turkeys and hams to families in need on the north side.
I believe that no one should have to worry about where the next meal is going to come from, especially when you have an organization like this that's been around for 59 years, making sure that we take care of our fellow man and woman and help our community to be a better place in which to live.
And this marks the organization's 59th year hosting the giveaway. Jesse White, alive and kicking there. And Bears and United Airlines surprised Christian Rokita with a warm welcome home today. He's this year's Home for the Holidays honoree. Rokita currently serves in Seattle, wasn't able to afford a trip home for the holidays this year. Southside native is a longtime Bears fan, and the team is pulling out all the stops to welcome him home, including a special tour of Hallis Hall. We'll also get to see the Bears take on the Packers tomorrow.
I'm super excited. I'm a huge Bears fan. I hate the Packers, so happy to see us beat the Pack. I'm from the south side of Chicago. We're the monsters of the Midway, so for me, it's kind of like our culture, being a Bears fan. It's fun, the rivalry with the Packers especially.
And he'll be honored as an honorary captain at kickoff.
We had to share this amazing story out of Crown Point tonight. A school bus driver stepping in to help a choking child. She was recognized by the superintendent today.
Today, we have a hero among us. We want to congratulate and thank Amy Kuykendall for her quick response yesterday at MacArthur. The young man was choking and she jumped in and helped dislodge the piece of hard candy stuck in his mouth, and not being silly with this, but saved a student's life yesterday. Amy, we appreciate you. You're one of the best. When you get back to the station, we've got a little something special for you.
I love that. The superintendent also tells us Amy's reaction embodies what he knows to be true with all of his district teachers and staff. They care for the students as if they were their own. All right, we care about you, and that includes telling you what the weather is going to be like. The forecast is definitely changing moods and vibes.
Oh, by the day, by the 24-hour period, right? We go from hot to cold, or not hot, but warm to cold to warm to cold. Well, we're cold right now. We're going to warm up tomorrow up to 42 degrees. Going to cool back down. I've actually raised the temperature up a little bit on Sunday. Previously, we had upper 20s. I think we're going to be a little closer to 31 degrees. And then after that, we can kiss the cold goodbye for a little while as we trend upward. And look at these temperatures. 49 degrees on Christmas Eve, 57 degrees on Christmas Day, and even thereafter, we're still looking at pretty mild conditions. Futurecast, not a whole lot happening here. We've got a couple of fronts sailing through, and our forecast models want to paint a little activity as they push through. Right now, I'm not really banking on that. I think things remain relatively constant and quiet here for the next couple of days. Although the temperatures do buoy up and down briefly there on Sunday, the trend long term looks pretty good. And you can see there's nothing really major brewing across our part of the Midwest. So travel, you're in pretty good shape, I think, over the next several days.
All right, Mark, good, better, best. It sounds like your forecast, but it's also Ben Johnson's rallying cry, and it's become a staple after every Bears win.
Yeah, it's got fans ready to run through a brick wall, but where did it all start? We dig into the chant's history when we come back.
Go!
After each of the victories this season for the Bears, you can hear it coming from the locker room.
Never let it
Head coach Ben Johnson's good, better, best speech has become the Bears' rallying cry, but the chant didn't start in Chicago. Tina Nguyen reports on its origins all the way in North Carolina.
Well, after every Bears win, there's a chant that now fills the locker room and echoes far beyond it. But it didn't start in Chicago. It began years ago in a high school locker room tucked away in the mountains of North Carolina, carried by one coach, passed to one player, and now embraced by an entire city. Before it echoed inside the walls of Hallis Hall, Soldier Field, before it lit a spark in the Chicago Bears locker room and moved a city built on grit, resilience, and hope. It traveled first to the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina, to AC Reynolds High School, to a coach named Bobby Poss.
When I first heard Good, Better, Best, and that was by Coach Richard Bell. He did it at a Fellowship of Christian Athletes camp. So it kind of catchy and I liked it, but it became the needy that replaced the school song with Good, Better, Best. So in 1994, my first year at AC Reynolds High School, after our first win, we did Good, Better, Best in the locker room.
While its true origin is unknown, Poss was the first to carry the chant to Reynolds High School and into the heart of a young Ben Johnson, a trusted voice that led the Rockets to a state title in 2002 with Ben under center.
Ben is truly a champion, and he's a guy that is a step above back even in the high school days.
Ben, you know, the first thing that pops out as a coach is just very intelligent. He was a very intelligent player. We gave him, especially by the time he was a senior, you know, we gave him a little more rope as far as how much, you know, he influenced plays, play calls, and some of those things because we trusted a lot of the things that he was saying and what he was seeing on the field.
The same words that once lifted him on Friday nights now lifts an entire locker room on Sundays.
That actually goes back to high school for me. Just a fond memory of mine growing up post-game in that locker room, and you know, that was just the rallying cry.
Let me hear you, Chicago! Good, better, best! Never let it rest!
Kind of big, got a little muscle to it. He's been there working out.
He did take his shirt off. He's a man of the people, let's say that.
Whatever the chant is, whatever the thing is post-game that you do post-victory, and really all it is just everybody buying into the same thing, and which is why I believe that it's been able to have the effect that it's had.
From a high school locker room to one of the most storied franchises in football, those words have become more than a chant. They've become a standard, a rallying point, and a reminder that greatness is built step by step. And together, Chicago is learning what Ben experienced long ago: to be good, to grow better, and to chase their very best. Well, thanks to Bears head coach Ben Johnson, that simple chant has not only found a new meaning in the city of Chicago, it's also become a standard for the Bears. For Fox 32 Sports, I'm Tina Nguyen.
All right, let's hope we hear that tomorrow night. You know, it won't be blazing hot when the Bears take on the Packers, but it'll be a lot warmer than it is right now. Mark has the latest updates in his full forecast after the break.
Well, the 85 Bears know about playing in pressure-filled games. Richard Dent and Otis Wilson weigh in on what's at stake tomorrow night at Soldier Field. And how is the locker room managing the enormity of the game? Well, Jalen Johnson says they have a mature approach. I go one-on-one with the Bears corner coming up in sports.
This is
All right, it's bone chilling out there right now, Mark, but we just have to get through tonight, and it's going to be a lot more pleasant tomorrow.
It's going to improve. Now, we're going to be up in the 40s tomorrow. It's still going to be pretty windy, but you know what? If you like warmer temperatures, take a look at this map. It's got red splashed all over it. This is the 6 to 10 day temperature trend. Now, if you're looking for a white Christmas, you're going to look at that map and go, chances of a white Christmas this year here in Chicago or anywhere around our part of the Midwest are about 0. Right now, our temperature is 18 degrees, winds out of the southwest at 8, and the wind chill right now at 8 degrees. It is frosty out there tonight, but the winds will be swinging to the south and to the southwest. Those winds will continue to pull in some warmer air overnight tonight. Temperatures now 18 degrees around the triad here. We're slightly warmer to the south of Interstate 80 and slightly cooler to the north along the Wisconsin state line, where temperatures there are in the teens. And it's those cold winds coming down from the north and from the northwest, picking up the moisture over the Great Lakes, producing snow virtually everywhere on the downwind side. We're on the upwind side, so no issues for us. Tomorrow, temperatures of 42. Our temperatures overnight tonight into the early morning hours, about 10 degrees warmer over the next 12 hours. So a pretty sharp warm up overnight tonight. We make it up into the low 40s, but those temperatures I think are going to start to tumble down a bit during the late afternoon, certainly into the evening. So it's not going to be quite that warm during the game time. I think the winds are going to pick up as well. But Sunday looks like sunny skies, temperatures a little bit cooler. That's our last little cool dip. And then after that, we're back into the 40s and even some 50s and maybe even a 60-degree reading around the area in the 7-day forecast. Couple of little systems zipping through. Most of the activity stays to our north across Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota. But I think we stay relatively quiet here from Chicago southward. Travel should not be too impacted here over the next couple of days, and especially as we get in Monday, Tuesday, and into Christmas Eve on Wednesday. Things look pretty quiet and also mild. High pressure sails across the Midwest. That keeps us dry as we head out the latter part of the weekend. Here's your forecast tonight. We're down to, I should say up, because these temperatures are warmer than we are right now. Temperatures increasing overnight tonight, thanks in part to the south winds at about 5 to 15, gusting at times up to nearly 30 miles per hour. Tomorrow, 42. But still very windy. Winds at times gusting up over 30 miles per hour, and the temperatures will fall off during the afternoon again. That's because we have more colder air pushing in on Sunday. 31, sunshine, 40 degrees on Monday, 45 on Tuesday. For Christmas Eve, check out these numbers. 49 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, but mainly dry right across the board here. On Christmas Day, I'm putting in 57. I think some of the far south suburbs will hit 60, and we're still mild as we go into next weekend following Christmas. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all look pretty mild, with Friday, those temperatures in the upper 40s.
There doesn't need to be much of a message here this week. They know what's at stake.
People say the stars get brighter around this time, so waiting to see that and be a part of it.
We feel as if we let them off the hook. We want to go out there and play our brand of football, and it gives us the best shot to go win the game.
It's what you play football for. It's what you dream about, the opportunity to play prime-time football, rivalry game, playoff implications. I mean, you can't ask for a better moment, and I'm excited to be part of it.
And Bears fans are excited, too. They started their favorite Green Bay chant in the middle of the Browns game last week in anticipation for tomorrow night's game. Yet again, Bears playing for first place in the division. And with a win and a Lions loss to the Steelers, they can clinch a spot in the playoffs. But inside the Bears locker room, it's business as usual to make sure they're well prepared and locked in walking into tomorrow's game.
Does this feel like the biggest game you've played in?
Honestly, it's hard to think about it like that. I mean, probably so. I mean, it's our next game, and it's an important game for us, considering where we're at in the season. NFC North on the line, NFC seeding is on the line. We're trying to get our playoff spot. So I mean, it's a lot on the line. But I think really for us, it's just the next game that we need to get to where we need to get to.
Yeah, Ben said no extra message needed this week. Everyone knows what's at stake. But this team, week after week, seems like it's at a next level of locked in and just focus and understanding that the preparation each week, is that a credit to Ben? Is it just everyone knowing the reality of what the season could be?
Yeah, I think it's really just helping us mature, I would say, as a team. And I mean, we're a young team as well, so a lot of guys haven't been in a position like this at this level. So really just grooming us and directing us in the right path. And I think we got the right guys in the locker room that are buying in and doing the extra work that needs to be done so we can have the best opportunity to win.
Grady Jarrett said he heard the chants of Bears fans about the Packers against the Browns. Like, what is the atmosphere that you're expecting Saturday night?
Hopefully the best one I've been a part of in my career. So I think for us, it's nothing better than, again, a primetime game against a rivalry team that is a really must-win for us at this point in the season. So, hopefully this is the best one that we won't forget.
And our coverage of the Bears and Packers Saturday begins with Bears Game Day Live at a special time of 1:30. Luke Canellis, Anthony Herron, Tina Wynn, and I will have you covered for 90 minutes leading up to NFL Fox pregame. Kickoff is at 7:20, and be sure to stay with Fox Chicago after the game for full reaction and analysis. Well, most players understand the enormity of the Bears-Packers rivalry when they show up in Chicago. It's the oldest rivalry in football, but 85 Bears Richard Dent Otis Wilson still remember playing in the games and the feeling leading up to them.
Jalen Johnson said the other day that we have no pressure on us because no one expected us to be 10-4 playing for the NFC North
That's
title.
pressure right there.
Exactly.
You don't buy what he's saying.
No, hell no. That's pressure by itself. And now you just trying to take pressure off yourself. If you want it, say you want it. I want it and I'm coming to get it.
Exactly.
You know, we won the Super Bowl. Hey, our 84 team was way better than our 85 team. Okay? Yeah. So, hey, it's time to hunt. It's time to hunt.
And you want it, you take it.
Well, we have plenty more from Dent Otis Wilson coming up on Chicago Sports Tonight at 6:30. They talk more about the rivalry and if they think the 2025 Bears have what it takes to make this season into something special. Of course, that follows Bears Blitz at 6 o'clock. The Bulls are in Cleveland tonight. They look to win back-to-back games for the first time in a month. The Chicago Sky alumni Candace Parker and Ella Deladon and former Bull Jamal Crawford are nominees for the Basketball Hall of Fame. And the White Sox have named Carlos Rodriguez as assistant GM. He spent the last 16 seasons with Tampa Bay. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
Fox 32 News is
All right, let's get you one more check of your forecast before you head out.
All right, temperatures actually increasing overnight tonight. It'll be 10 degrees warmer tomorrow morning at sunrise than it is right now. That leads us into the 40s tomorrow. Still chilly on Sunday, but at least we got some sunshine going our way. And look at that, 40s, 50s, maybe some 60s for Christmas.
But no white Christmas.
Not this year, baby.
All right.
I don't know. I'm trying to be poetic. Come up with a song.
That sounds like a song. Not this year, baby.
Not this year, baby. Yeah,
All right.
my goodness. That's all I got.
There you go. All right.
Thanks for spending time with us at 5 o'clock.
And now you can stream us on your smart TV with Fox Local.
We're on all the streaming platforms.
And Bears Blitz is next. Big show tonight. We'll see you tonight at 9.
Tis the season to save big at